week? Is that a yes or no? This
Just
week?
stay tuned.
We said last week we were going to have it.
I know, and I've got 220 people that I'm working through their
Did you
opinions on.
overpromise?
No, this is part of the process. Everybody needs to relax. It takes a lot. We're doing probably what is one of the most consequential pieces of legislation in decades for Congress, and it's got a lot of moving parts, and it's very complicated, and I got people with a lot of opinions on it, but we're working through those opinions. It just takes time. Unlike when we did this in 2017, I was a freshman in that 2017, the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. We could afford to lose a couple dozen votes. We can't afford that this time, so the hard work of the negotiation has to be done on the front end so that we can deliver a product that we know everybody will support.
How much is the Senate complicating this by
Not
going
much.
forward?
Look, I spent a good while talking with Lindsey Graham at the Super Bowl in the suite with the president, and he and I are on the same page. In fact, I could show you a photo on my phone where we both held up the one finger and I said, one beautiful bill, and he smiled. There is no daylight between us. We all want exactly the same thing. We're working on the best and most effective and efficient way to get there. I continue to believe it is the one bill strategy. I think the Senate, including Lindsey Graham, understands that, but they want to move and show some action. So I get that, but we're not at odds. No one's upset about this. We're just working through the process. I wouldn't say it's helpful. Look, we all feel the same sense of urgency. We don't need any more pressure points on that. Because we're all trying to do the same thing as quickly as possible. But as you've seen, what we're negotiating is a very complicated thing to achieve, to make sure that we extend the tax cuts, make sure that we do these other big objectives that we have in front of us, and do it in a way that does not add to the deficit and increase the debt burden on the country. And so that's a very complicated thing to do, and there's a reason that Congress doesn't do this often, but we're going to get the job done.
Mr. Speaker, the administration is also suggesting, at least it's not saying, if you would comply with some of these court orders, halting some of their actions, including on the access to the Treasury Department systems. Should the White House comply if the federal court orders them to do something, such as destroying the records that they downloaded from the Treasury Department?
Well, look, there are appellate processes and all of that. I haven't followed the latest on the litigation, but obviously we have systems that have to work. I mean, we have an order to the government, but we're fully supportive of what the DOGE effort is doing and what the president is doing. It's a very aggressive agenda that was promised to the voters. Remember, he's delivering on campaign promises right now. We are going to be codifying a lot of these changes, and what they've uncovered is frankly shocking. There are a lot of expenditures of the federal government that Congress has not been aware of, in spite of our best efforts to do oversight. Some of this has been hidden. So it has taken this level of audit from effectively an outside auditor, that's what DOGE and Elon and the group really is, to be able to get into the systems and open the literal files and expose this stuff. And so we are applauding that. This is what we have been wanting and trying to do for a long time. So this is a good development. I wish the courts would allow the executive and the legislative branches to work, but we'll see how all that develops.
Should they listen to the courts, though?
Republicans are still pushing for Medicare reforms in this bill. Do you expect that bill to touch